All right, hello and welcome. If you are gearing up for your MD community medicine exams, then this explainer is absolutely for you. Today, we are going to do a really high-yield focus breakdown of the Suman initiative. We're going to cut right through the noise and give you exactly what you need to know to nail those exam questions. So let's dive right in. So here's our game plan. We'll start with the absolute basics, then we'll move into the vision and, who this is all for. We'll break down its core structure, really understand the service promise at its heart, and then wrap up with how it's all kept in check. This flow is really designed to build the concept logically in your mind, which, trust me, makes it so much easier to recall during an exam. Okay, first things first, let's build that foundation. Any question on the National Health Program is going to start with the what, the why, and the when. If you can get this part right, you are already well on your way to a great answer. Just imagine this is question 1 on your theory paper. What does Suman stand for, and when was it launched? These are those quick, high-scoring facts that you absolutely cannot afford to miss. So let's lock them in right now. Here we go, the first part of your answer. Suman stands for Surekshit Matritva Ashwasan. In English, that's Safe Motherhood Assurance. Now, that word, ashwasan, or assurance, is absolutely key to the entire philosophy of this program. It's a perfect candidate for an MCQ, so please, remember it. And here's the second piece of that puzzle. The initiative kicked off on October 10th, 2019. Dates are such easy marks to gain, and just as easy to lose. So let's commit this one to memory. October 10th, 2019. Okay, so we've got the what and when down. Now let's tackle the why and the for whom. Understanding the core vision and the specific target groups, well, that's critical for writing those comprehensive, long-form answers that really show the examiner you get the program's purpose. This single number, this is the entire vision of Suman. 0. The goal is to achieve 0 preventable maternal and newborn deaths. It's an incredibly ambitious, powerful goal that aims to completely eliminate the tragedy of a mother or a newborn dying from a cause that we could have prevented. When you write about Suman, this vision of 0 has to be front and center. So who exactly does this whole initiative serve? Well, as you can see, the beneficiaries are very clearly laid out. All pregnant women, all mothers for the first 6 months after delivery, and any newborn who is sick. This is what defines the scope of the program, and it's a crucial detail for your exams. Let's move on to the structural framework now. If you get a long answer question asking you to describe the Suman initiative, these pillars are basically your subheadings. They are the backbone of the entire strategy. Now, what's great here is how it simplifies the entire program into just 3 core parts. First, you've got the actual package of services that are guaranteed. Second, there's a system to handle complaints if those services aren't delivered. And third, it's all about getting the community involved and mobilized. So just remember these 3: services, redressal, and community. Let's zoom in on that first pillar, the service guarantee. This is that ashwasan or assurance that we talked about earlier. It's not just about making services available. It's about making a really concrete promise of care to every single mother and newborn. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? It's from the official guidelines, and it's so powerful. The promise isn't just for healthcare. It's for healthcare delivered with quality, respect, and dignity. This is a huge shift. It focuses on the experience of care, not just the clinical outcome. This is a fantastic quote to use in your answers. A promise is really only as good as the system that upholds it. For your exams, just describing the program isn't quite enough. You need to explain how it's actually implemented and monitored. This section on accountability is where you can really score some high marks. So, here's the crucial point. The guidelines state that a timely response to complaints isn't just nice to have, it's imperative. This isn't a suggestion, it's a core requirement. And why is that? Because for a pregnant woman or a sick newborn, a delay isn't just an inconvenience, it can literally be a matter of life and death. The system has to be fast and it has to be responsive. So how is this accountability actually achieved? Well, here are the key mechanisms you need to mention. It's a multi-layered approach. You have systems for collecting feedback directly from patients, a really strong system for handling complaints, dedicated Suman committees at every level for oversight, and it smartly uses existing platforms like the Rogi Kalyan Samitis, or RKS. All right, let's boil everything down to one single high-yield sentence. If you remember nothing else, remember this. Suman is a framework that provides zero-cost, dignified, and quality care. It creates an assurance of service for every mother and newborn with that ultimate goal of zero preventable deaths. That right there, that's the essence of the whole initiative. And we'll end with a thought for you to take away. The guidelines are there, the vision is crystal clear. But what do you think is the single biggest real-world challenge to actually making this happen and achieving that goal of zero preventable deaths on the ground? Thinking about that gap between policy and practice? Well, that's what separates a good answer from a great one. Thanks so much for tuning in.